Hello and welcome. My name's Jodie. This is my take on the fix the traffic scenario. Sorry, reading the screen. I'm trying to do it with making as least impact on the city as possible. So trying not to destroy buildings, and also to try to complete it as quickly as possible. So I might go quiet during bits of this because sometimes I need to concentrate on what I'm doing. My first aim is to improve the situation for residents, because you ideally don't want them moving away, and you want to but you're a bit constrained by resources, so you can't just put everything in straight away for them. My reason for doing this video is because I've seen a few attempts on the net where people have tried to solve this, and they haven't typically have taken either a very long time on not being able to resolve it. Although, you know, in their defense, it was when the DLC had just been released, so you know, people still getting used to how it would work. Oh dear, I've run out of money already. I haven't got enough money yet. So again, because you haven't got particularly a lot of resources, you've also got to try and do this without spending too much money. So and obviously that would be a generally good policy of any city administrators. So I'm trying not to do anything too invasive. Here I'm just trying to get things, the ability to flow. They won't flow straight away, but it will come. I'm just going to do some you tend to have to do a lot of work with junctions. Here I'm trying to stop the cross flow so that traffic goes around this corner, but traffic here doesn't stop it. I'm also going to start creating a motorway out here. Actually, I'm going to create one out here to so one of the issues with this flow is that traffic is coming up and it's trying to turn right and come into this housing estate because it's one of the only ways it can get in, and everyone's getting a bit unhappy because of that. There's a couple of quick fixes we can do just to sort that out, which is basically to just make them a separate entrance here, and then hopefully they will start to come back and or they won't leave rather, because they'll feel they can stay here. I'm also just going to put a road in. That might come in useful later. Yeah, so, and I'm not going to tackle this quite yet. Oh, great, we've hit this. That's the 32,000 milestone. But we've got a long way to go, and the population can go down as well as up. So the other thing I'm going to do is create a motorway off this way for the road, for the housing estate up here. I hope I've got enough money for it. To alleviate the junction on the other side of this estate. and this should hopefully... I'm just going to destroy one building here. Okay. So creating a more amenable entrance this way for traffic, so that it's not going all the way up and coming into this roundabout. The roundabout has some issues, which will... oh, sorry. As one of the other people who attempted to fix this found, the roundabout is the wrong way round. I'm also going to make this a two-lane motorway, so a two-lane road, so that traffic uses both lanes coming off the motorway. I'm also going to expand this intersection just here, so that it can cope with the free flow of traffic. So it's got at least two lanes coming this way. It's got traffic coming this way, so let's give them a bit of a space to do so. Also, and I'm going to need to create the motorway going back off here, back down to the other motorway, and that should hopefully really start making an impact on the traffic at least. I'm just trying to avoid destroying buildings. There we go. The pylons here, you can destroy them in one place, but leave them in the other. Because I'm going to destroy the ones down here, basically, in making the junction that I'm about to make. So essentially we just need to kind of start hooking up all the different directions for this. So it's this is how I do my junctions. Hurried and badly. Have I done this right? Yeah. So this is my junction technique. I do a sort of inner loop, and then I build around it. The idea is to get traffic off the motorway before you add it on, which of course is one of the issues further up. And then we just need to cross here. No, wait, no, that's it. I'm not worried about the traffic pylons. So we've got a motorway here now, so that should be, and as you can see, it's getting used a lot. Got a little bit of a slowdown here, which I think is just oops, junction control. So yeah, there's oopsie, there's a lot of traffic lights to be sorted. Let's stop traffic coming this way, stopping things. I'll leave that for the moment. I don't think I necessarily need that. I want these to flow. Well, that's a slow road, so I'm not worried. And I want traffic coming out of the system to come this way, ideally, not down here. So I'm going to discourage them with this stop sign. That I think I'll stop them there, so that traffic is more freely coming down this way. So hence keeping the minor roads out. There's also a small little runoff here that we can add, and this will just mean that traffic can come through this way up this road and get onto this junction more quickly as well, which will help. Now, we have lost some people in this housing estate. There's not a lot we can do about it. It was just simply people couldn't get around to the area, but that will work out over time. We can already see this stretch is now working a bit better. So I'm going to start tackling this side. So up at this top end we have an industrial estate, and there's a lot of blockages occur up here. So I'm going to convert this to a large roundabout. And this is just going to make sure that there's less sort of cross traffic occurring. And then I think we need to do lots of traffic light work. So stop on that side, stop on that side. That stops cross traffic for our routes. I'm going to stop slow traffic coming in this way. So then I'm creating a flowing route up through to the industrial area, and that should flow a lot better now. And then also this other side, I'm going to let that flow. I'm going to stop traffic from these two sides because they will slow down essentially later on. They won't be quite so busy. Doing that one's optional, that traffic lights up there. I'm also going to drop a lane because I don't think that's necessary. People can get around easily enough going down and round that way. So I don't think that's necessary. Something that is a good idea, recommended also by other YouTubers doing this, is to upgrade these roads. This just kind of generally increases the throughput so that 2 lanes are matching 2 lanes, matching 2 lanes, and then it flows a lot better because there's not so much lane changing occurring. Also up this one, trying to remember my, oh great, I've got some more money. Okay, so that means I can do a little bit of residential stuff in a moment. I'm going to change the flow of these lights because more traffic is coming up this way and wanting to get over this way into the shopping centre here. There's another roundabout there that's going the wrong way, but you don't need to do anything with it really for completing the game. It's fine without. So we get to this area, this wonderful area. So I'm going to start just, I'm just going to optimise. Oh, let's just sort of, you can make this area a bit more functional by. I'm gonna. This is because I'm trying not to destroy buildings, or as few buildings as possible. I'm going to build a little extension out this way, little joining road, and I'm going to get rid of this road, and that is essentially simplifying the junction below so that there's not quite as many entrances and exits. So just simply simplifying the junction. I'm then also going to prioritize flow for these routes, so traffic coming in and the city dumpster route. If you did get blockages here, this is also technically going the wrong way and can cause cross traffic. But I've generally not needed to mess around with that. I was just going to pop in some more industrial here for the stuff that I'd taken out. There we go. I need to keep working on the junctions, so making sure that these side roads are not interrupting the flow too much. There shouldn't be anything much coming this way, so we'll block it off. And so allowing this side to have a bit more priority. We could also even stop this direction, I think. Yeah. Okay, so because of building the motorway earlier out this way, the side road, this road has become an awful lot less busy, which means there's not as much traffic building up here. We still need to kind of get people wanting to come back, so I wanted to just create a few incentives. So I'm just going do some nice things for the city. Build a little park. Now this area up here is also in great need of some recreation. They won't take a... It's going to do dog parks. Something else that this area is lacking, or this side of the map is lacking, is a university. So I'm going to put one in just here. So boosting education, and I think also let's put in a dog park here as well, where we've destroyed a couple of houses, but it's not too bad. You can put in some more space there. I think they could do with a medical centre, and maybe actually even another little dog park up here. Oh, you can hear them levelling up. That's good to hear. So hopefully that will attract people back, keep the occupancy high. This area is very looks very miserable, but no one's really moved away from here, so I don't think it's too bad as an area. It's getting on okay. Let's put in a couple of extra roads though, just and build in another park of some sort. I've got space for it. We do have a lot of trouble here with the steepness of this hill. Okay, hopefully that's going to reach a little bit. Yeah. So we have this area doesn't do too well. This is because of the traffic noise and issues with traffic in general and access. So we can improve their lot somewhat. So the trouble is this bit. So we can alleviate this by making it easier to get in and out of the whole area. So I'm going to build a sort of relief area here. Oopsie. There we go. A relief road up here so that traffic comes this way. I'm also going to put in a little woody road to come off here. From destroying the house, which is difficult. There we go. And I think they could do some utilities as well. What was it? Oh yeah, fire station. Let's put in a. Did this actually get... Oh, whoopsie! I think I accidentally destroyed some houses there. Is that what happened? Yeah, oops, built that a little too close. So the other issue with traffic coming through here is trying to get into this industrial estate. So what I'm going to do is build another quite precarious slip road. I like my slip roads. If there's one way of funneling traffic around in this game, it's using slip roads and off ramps and things. Okay, so that's going to mean that traffic can come up here and round there to get through, so it avoids all of this area and this road. Also at this point, because this route is potentially still quite quick, I'm just going to delete it. You can get everywhere else now without any bother. So as you can see, traffic is still piling up in this area. It's because there are a few issues with the flow in this sector, so I'm going to fix those. So one issue is traffic coming off here to get onto this motorway up here. So what it's doing is it's looping around this section up onto this intersection and coming back down again. So I'm going to build this off so that that isn't happening anymore. Also, traffic coming the opposite way is unable to get out of the city easily. So I'm going to build another precarious turning off here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm sure you could design this all beautifully and much better, but you don't need to complete the scenario. You just need to get the traffic flowing and to keep it flowing. So once you get the main sort of routes in, you tend to find it's just a case of catching the right time when the population is high enough and the road system is clear enough. So this is obviously to build a slip to help traffic avoid coming onto this motorway, which should increase the flow. Also, I'm going to build up the traffic coming through here. So obviously it has to cross this motorway. So what I'm going to do is make it so that it takes longer before it leaves the motorway. So essentially building out and up here. Seems maybe it's a bit shorter. Never goes the way you want it to, does it? And then over here. So at this point I'm going to split them off. So one section's going to go this way and the other's going to go back down onto the motorway. And then I can just delete that bit entirely. So all the traffic now should start flowing through here and this junction is much freer. We can still have traffic coming up this way, that's fine, but it's just we don't want a lot of it coming up this way. So now that that's a bit clearer, this should start moving a bit more freely. Hopefully reduce the noise a little bit for that person there. We do get you do start to get this situation where you get not enough buyers for products. I haven't quite solved that solution. Sorry, solved that problem. So yeah, if anyone knows what might be going wrong in this city, there is an odd ratio of there's a lot of industrial compared to commercial, but also worth noting is that there's a railway up here. So if you're playing this for a bit longer, you might want to hook that up and bring a you know, you can purchase this area out here and get people into your city. That, you know, can increase the trade. Put a cargo rail system in. That might solve it. Another aspect of my solution for this game is that I haven't used public transport or anything else. Really, it's just fixing traffic and enticing people back to the city. So at the moment we've got a good number of people coming back, which is a good sign. So all I need to do really is just look around for minor tweaks that I might be able to do just to make sure that the system keeps flowing. Although you know, it's if we look at the stats, sorry, stats, yeah, So it's 76 at the moment, but that will kind of, the the traffic flow goes up and down, so it can clear and then unclear and things just as the routes are kind of sorting themselves out. So I just keep my eye on it. See if other areas are like, how they're doing. I mean, everything is moving, which is a good sign. It can be, you can allow things to be in the red, because they're just heavily used routes. Let's just sort this out. And so yeah, it's pretty we could look at doing other enticements, for example. I know that some people have tried to tackle this area, this sort of office zone. I don't think it's worth trying to improve the flow through there. It's not actually an area that you want a lot of traffic in. So yeah, there's not really a lot out here. If there is an industrial area, then maybe, but because there isn't, it looks fine. So I think here we're just sort of missing the quantity of entertainments, really. So it'd be nice to put something in. How about we just we can move that park out of the way, which means I'm not destroying buildings. Well, not destroying too many buildings. Oh. It's just okay, let's just build a bigger park out here. Hopefully it'll have a bit more reach. Yeah, that's so let's see how this area is doing. It's starting to flow a bit better now. Oh, we are getting traffic through. It might be just my appalling wiggly roads that's causing a slowdown. If we check the stats, we're up to 85. So we just need the population to rise, which it is doing. It's still steadily increasing. So if just just minor tweaks to keep things rolling. There's a little junction here that maybe could benefit from some improvement. Has it got a junction? Yeah, so if this is the main flow, we could make it less, just allow for more flexibility and flow in the system. There we go, it's a little bit lighter. This industrial estate has calmed down quite to some degree. I think this is just volume, but it's not bright red anymore, so I think that's flowing okay. Oh, up to 88%. In this area, I mean, it's busy again, but not wildly so. Obviously, this off-ramp, any way of just improving it so that there's less crossing going on. So we could do some dastardly off-ramping again. Gotta go up again, haven't I? Oh dear. I mean, I'll I'll manage to fix their road system, but they'll need a completely new map for it. There we go. So that should help to start alleviate that cross flow there. Excuse me. Let's see how our stats are doing. Still at 87%, up to 33,300 now. It's looking good. So I think we're just in the waiting game, waiting for the population to rise a bit more. I don't know whether other incentives might help. I mean, we can obviously, now that we're a bit more flush, we could just drop rent a little. To say that so that people are a little more enticed. Of course, as more people start coming back, obviously the actual amount of traffic will increase. So you could see at this point in the scenario, it taking getting busier again in some of the junctions that were looking okay. And you always have rush hour as well, which can be very difficult on the road system. Again, you would typically do something like in a sort of more timely version, or if you didn't care too much about how much you were destroying of the city, you could build a motorway through there. I found that to be a reasonable solution, but you still have to do a lot of junction work. So it's I don't know that it's any particularly more beneficial to do that. What I could do here is I could just to help this junction a little bit is to widen it up. So convert it to a dual motorway, and then they're less likely to cross over. Yeah, looks a little better. $33,700. Just looking, see if there's remind myself if there's anything more I can do to improve things, I suppose, and also to do it with making the least impact on the city. So that, because obviously if this was a real city that's already been built up, for you to go charging through, making turfing everyone up is not the best thing. Put in a medical centre here. Actually, even this area is looking a bit low on the medical provisioning. Oh, it can be tricky to get some of these roads to line up without destroying buildings. There we go. The more useful things to do, presumably for this, is actually improving the lot for the high density residential, because there you've got a lot more people per per capita. So obviously if there were any improvements that could be made here, But this area is actually pretty good. At least, you know, this square has reasonable fire. It's served by medicine. There's not a lot needs doing to it, so it's a surprise that they left. Yeah, they've been served by absolutely everything. This area is very well designed, in actual fact, just except for the traffic. So clearing the traffic from this area is the more important thing. So we're into a final 1,000 to increase. So I'll just see if the road system's still okay. 83% is still passing. This area's still looking quite busy, isn't it? And again, you can see there's a little bit of merging that's going on there. It's not ideal. Some maybe converting this to dual might. Oh, I think it already is actually. Yeah. And I'm not too worried because it's never held up for very long, but obviously for the stats, that sort of thing would have to be fixed. Since I have time, let's just maybe just do that. So probably what I'd do is allow it to get out onto this way more easily. Essentially just moving the problem elsewhere. But hopefully it would be a little. Come on. No. Just wants to bend. Oh, okay, yeah. That might give them a slightly better chance of this being a bit easier. Okay, now they're starting to use it. Yep, they're just going to block up another area. And again, we can make it multi-lane, although probably not on that bit. But it might, if it at least alleviates the merging, so that merging can happen anywhere along here, that might be enough. Might be enough. So under 500 people left to go, and we're still at 85%. This is looking pretty good. You can see it's you know, areas that weren't busy before getting a little more busy now. I'm not sure there's a lot you can do about that. Shy of actually just making the junction just go straight out onto it, so you could maybe just demolish these houses and just create a bend so that this traffic isn't turning. Let's just make sure the junction hasn't flipped. No, it's still. Yeah, traffic's still flowing though. It's... Any more incentivizing? We can. Oh yeah, we could do some little parks out here as well. Keep people happy. Maybe just on this end. I know this doesn't matter too much, the commercial zone, but we'll just still add to people's happiness. Can never hurt, I hope. It's nice when you get to do nice things for your residents. You're not just sitting there turfing up streets all the time. Oopsie. There we go. Yeah, that's looking, that junction's looking a lot clearer now. Yep, it's calmed down a bit. It's all looking clear, so 88% we've got, which is pretty good going. Oh, something you could do up here actually is oh, and there we go. We've won the scenario. So there we go. That's to show that it's doable, and doable in a reasonably quick time as well. If you've got any suggestions or you want to know more details, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.